All right, so let's come to our chairs into a nice seated position. And take those shoulders and roll them down your back. And let's just get comfortable, placing hands on the thighs in whatever manner feels right for you. Closing the eyes or softening the gaze. And just settling in and noticing the breath. Noticing how you're feeling this morning. What parts of the body might be talking to you a little bit today. Just taking note of that. And the quality of the mind, how is the mind doing today? Is it off to the races? Or maybe it's feeling a little sluggish. Maybe it's just feeling fine. Just tuning in. Becoming aware and present. Let's take 3 mindful breaths, making them slow and deep. So breathing in and filling up, taking that inhale all the way down to the belly. And slowly letting it go. Another deep mindful breath, drawing the breath in. And then watching the exhale slowly out of the nose. And one more big, beautiful inhale. And letting it go. And letting the breath come in and out of the nose in slow, complete breaths. Drawing the breath in and out. And so this morning, before we set an intention, I'm going to ask you 3 questions, and I'd like you to think about them before you set your intention. What matters most to you today? What would you like to let go of? Meaning resentments, regrets, grudges, anything that doesn't serve you. And what do you choose to be today? Joyful, kind, compassionate, strong, happy. Then coming back to those mindful breaths, those deep, slow breaths. Let's do 3 more. Drawing that breath in again, deeper. And slowly letting the breath go. Two more. And then bringing our hands together at heart center. Bowing the head down towards our heart. Taking a moment to set an intention if you wish. the day or the practice. And holding it in your mind's eye for a moment. Before you let it out into the universe on an exhale. And with your inhale, let's start to lift the head and the hands up towards the sky. Fingertips are together and then they part and you start to release them down to the sides as the chin drops down towards the chest. Turning those palms back out and slowly moving them up. Palms and fingertips touch and float down to the heart center. Let the gaze come to the top of the fingertips. Let's do that 2 more times. Lengthening the arms up, out, overhead, and then dropping them down by our sides. Turning the palms back up, bringing them back together, and down to heart center. Let's do that 1 more time, taking the palms up, reaching out and down, and then bringing the palms back together. And this time, take a moment, just notice the fingertips and palms coming together, that connection, and then bringing it back to heart center. Release the palms down towards the lap, and let's drop the chin down towards the chest. Lengthen out the back of the neck. Take the chin and start to move it from side to side. And then let's bring it back to the center. With the inhale, let's lift the head up. Heart lifts a little bit and you start to root down through the sit bones. And once you start to root down through the sit bones, you find maybe a little length happening in the back body, through the spine. Crown of head is coming up a little bit towards the ceiling. And you're rooting down through those feet. Maybe you're pressing down through the soles of the feet. And your core is engaged. Beautiful seated mountain. I'm going to start to take the right ear over the right shoulder. Let the shoulders be soft now. And taking the left arm out by your side and then reaching it back a little bit. Fingers are pointing down towards the earth. And then let's start to lift the nose up towards the ceiling a little bit, changing the angle. Breathe. And then that nose starts to make small circles on the ceiling in one direction. And then pause and take the nose in the other direction. And then pause. Start to bring that right ear over the right shoulder again so the nose comes back down. And you should notice the shift through the top of that left shoulder and neck. Let's reach out through those left fingers. And then bring the left hand back to the lap. And turn the chin now towards the right collarbone. Take a moment just to be here. Letting the stretch happen on the left side of the neck. Drop the chin down towards the center of the chest. Let that head come down. So you feel the length happening in the back of the neck. And with the inhale, let's lift up again. So you're finding that length once more. Root down through the sit bones so that you can lift the crown of the head up a little higher. And notice what else is pressing feet into floor. And let's take left ear over left shoulder. Soft through that right shoulder if it started to reach up a little bit. And let's take that right arm out to the side. And then start to lift the nose up towards the ceiling a little bit and make small circles with the nose. And pause. Take it in the other direction. And pause. Right arm starts to reach back a little bit. And where do you feel this in your body? Top of the shoulder, down through the arm maybe. Up the right side of the neck. Bring that right hand back to the lap. Turn the chin now towards the left collarbone. And then soften anything that had started to tighten up. Maybe you're gripping through the hips. And let that just settle down into the chair. We're going to drop the chin down towards the chest once more. And head comes down even farther than it did before. With the inhale, start to lift the head up. And you're going to drop that head back behind. Chin comes up towards the ceiling. Part the lips. And just be here for a moment. So you're stretching out the front of the throat. Let the shoulders drop down. And then let's bring that chin back in. And drop that head down one more time. And let it come down. Let it be heavy. And then coming back up. We're sitting up nice and tall. Take the chin over top of the right shoulder. And then let's move the head all the way over to the other side. Chin comes over the left shoulder. Taking it all the way back over to the right. And then all the way back to the left. When we come back over to the right side, we're going to pause here. We're going to peek out underneath the eyelids, out past that right shoulder. And I'm pressing into my feet once more, and I'm lifting my heart up so I've got a nice long spine here. No reason why we shouldn't be sitting up nice and tall as we look over the shoulder. Close the eyes and take the head slowly over to the other side. See if you can keep that length that you just gained. Open the eyes and look out underneath the eyelids over the left shoulder. And then coming back through center. Let's open the eyes if they were closed and start to take the shoulders and loop them back behind. Maybe start to make them big and delicious if that feels right. Maybe you're like just slow and small. This is your practice. So you do what you want to do, what feels good for you. And then let's pause and take it in the other direction. And I can tell you, this feels so good for me right now, taking it, these slow, deliberate motions. And then let's pause. We're going to have arms come down by our sides. Shoulders are going to come up to our ears, so we're scrunching up, and then we're dropping down. 2 more times. Let's take it up, scrunch, 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 and then release. And one last time, taking it up. Big scrunch, big, 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 and then release. Ha, 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 ha. I want you to go ahead and take those arms back behind. So I'm grabbing onto the back of my chair and I'm lifting my heart up. I've got an arch in the back body, nice chest opener here. And then we're gonna let that go. So I'm gonna take my pillow away, coming onto the seat of the chair now. And let's do a little bit with our hips. So I want you to just start to rock back and forth on the chair, lifting one sit bone up and then the other. And then let's pause, coming back. So we're going to start to bring the belly button forward. So your hip points are coming forward. You've got a little arch through that back, and that marble is dropping down. And then let's start to roll back. So you've got a marble that's rolling back into the belly button. Hip points are coming back. So we're doing this pelvic tilt. So you're rolling back and forth. Nice and easy. It doesn't have to be a big move. Or maybe you're like, man, I'm going to really get into that today. I'm going to go all the way. So finding what feels right for you. We're just slowly working through that low back, through the hips. Nice and easy. And I can tell you, for me, this is sweet. I can start to feel the opening happening through that very low back. And let's do one more coming down and then coming back up. Nice. And then I want you to start to lean forward. Your hands are right here on your thighs, and you're starting to let the chin come down a little bit so you have that long neck. We're going to start to reach the sit bones back towards the chair. So you're rooting once more through the chair, and you should feel this in the back body, the low back. Breathe. We're going to inhale and we're going to come up. So as you're coming up, engaging through the core, you're knitting the ribs in together and you're sitting up tall. You're going to exhale, start to hinge at the hips. You're coming down again, and we're going to come down a little bit farther than we did. We're going to pause here again. So your neck is long, your gaze is down at the floor, shoulders are soft, they're not up at your ears, pressed into those sit bones. You're reaching them towards the back of the chair, lengthening. And then with the inhale, start to lift back up nice and slow. Exhale one last time. Let's start to hinge forward. We're coming down farther than we did before. Maybe the hands slide over the top of the knees. And then have that long, flat back and neck. Breathe. Sit bones once more, reaching back behind. So bones aren't moving, but you feel those muscles. And exhale, release and let the hands come down, maybe to the front of the shins in a forward fold, and pause. Be here for a moment. Take a big intentional breath and round that back body, opening up those back ribs, creating space and letting it go. Then bringing hands back up to the thighs. Engage through the core. So you're pressing into the feet, but you're knitting those front ribs together and pulling yourself up, off. And hands are going to come back behind. We're going to do that counter pose. And you're going to lift the heart up, arching that back body. And then letting it go. And then let's sit up nice and tall. Hands to the thighs. We lean forward. And let's start to stir the pot. And finding your circle, letting maybe the head move and the shoulders move. Feet are maybe a little wider. And just rolling through this. So I know I'm going slow, but you might go faster. You might be spinning like that crazy top. And let's do one more circle all the way around and coming back to the top. Taking a moment to be still and then circle it around in the other direction all the way. And one more circle. And then coming back. Oh, nice. And let's come into our cat and cow. So let's come into a cow first. I want you to start to pull the heart forward, shoulders roll down the back. You've got that arch again. You're lifting up and then finding your exhale. Let's start to round the back body. Take the navel all the way to the back of the chair. Arms are long. And then inhale, coming into your cow. And then exhaling into cat. So I want you to do 3 more at your own pace. And if you're like, gosh, I just want to stay in cat, stay in cat. So finding the movement that feels right for you. And if you're not careful, I'll just do these all day because this is feeling awesome. And then sitting up nice and tall as you finish out that last one. We're going to move the spine in a different way today. So I want you to take those palms out to the sides, and I've got mine turned up today. Notice what's happening with your shoulders. Keep it rolled down there. And let's reach out through the right hand. So reaching out to the side, and then you're coming back and over to the left. So working over to the other side, and then back over to the right, and then back over to the left. Now, when we come over to the right, this time we're turning the palm down. And as we go to the other side, we flip it and turn the left palm down. So we're alternating, making that brain work a little harder today. Going back and forth. Oh, beautiful. All right, one more time over to the right. And one more time over to the left. And then let's bring those arms down. Take those shoulders and let's do a couple loops. And then let's bring those arms down. So I'm bringing my feet a little bit closer together than I had them at cat-cow. We're going to come into that compassionate arm series. So we're going to turn the palms out. We're going to inhale those arms up or lengthening up, finding that length, and then softening the arms into the sockets. Keep those front ribs knitted in. Drop the right hand down by your side and come into that big, beautiful side body stretch. Let that left hip just be your anchor. Nice and beautiful here. And with the exhale, we're going to start to twist over to the right. Drop that left hand to the outside of the right leg. Look over the right shoulder as you let the shoulders drop down. Then finding your next exhale, you're going to start to bring left shoulder towards left knee. Right arm comes up and overhead, and you're coming into a side body stretch on the right side, but it's in a different position, more in the back body. Right hip is reaching for this seat now. So press that down. And then releasing right hand to the outside of the left leg. We crisscross our arms. Inhale, round that upper back area. Chin comes into chest. That upper back gets a treat. And release. Start to lengthen up. Press into the feet. Engage as you come all the way up with the arms lengthening up. Nice. Drop that left hand down. Reach over with the right fingertips now. Big side body stretch. Feeling it all through the side of the body. And now let's come into the twist. So we start to lift the torso as we turn towards the left. Right hand to the outside of the left knee. Looking over the left shoulder. On your exhale, right shoulder towards right knee, and you bring the left arm up and over, reaching out. You guys aren't holding your breath, right? You're all breathing, slow and steady, and dropping that hand down to the outside of the right leg, crisscross the arms, breathe into the upper back, round that upper back, and then letting it go and sitting up nice and tall. Oh, nice. I hope that felt good. It felt good for me. All right, let's sit back in the chairs. Ooh, and take those beautiful feet of ours up and go ahead and let's point and flex and point and flex. So this feels awesome. We're just getting into those ankles and the shins and the calves. And now let's go ahead and have the feet pressing up. I want you to spread those toes as far as you can. See if you can get the big toes to reach for each other and the pinkies are going out. And then let's go ahead and curl the toes. Oh, I can feel that. And then let that go. Turn the feet in towards each other and then turning them out and back in and out and in and out. One more time, bringing them in. And one more time, taking them out. Let's go ahead and start to circle the ankles in one direction. And then take it in the other direction. Oh, nice. Drop those feet down. And then slide back up on that chair. We're going to take that right leg out. I've got the heel down, toes are up. So my knee and the toes are in line. They're pointing up at the ceiling so the foot isn't rolling over to the side. We're going to start to exhale and hinge forward. So we're coming into that hamstring stretch, but we're not going to go big time here. We're starting off nice and slow. So you might come down maybe about halfway and say, okay, that's good, Lisa. I don't need to come any farther. Or if you're feeling really flexible and loose, you can come down more. But right now, because I'm a little stiff today, I'm staying up and I'm being sweet and kind to my body. I'm not pushing it. I'm listening to it and saying, okay, what do we need to do today? Breathe. And with the inhale, let's start to lengthen up. And then you're going to drop that foot down and you're going to bring it back in and you're going to bring that knee up towards the chest and you're going to squeeze that shin, that leg up towards you. Nice. And then let's drop it down. Let's take the left leg out. So extending that out in front, making sure you've got everything pointing up at the ceiling. And are you sitting up nice and tall? Are you engaged through the core? Shoulders are soft. We're going to exhale, hinge from the hips and bowing over that left leg, coming down to the point that's right for you. Letting the gaze be maybe on the knee or the shin so that the back of the neck is nice and long. And then just coming back to your breath. Taking your time with the inhales and the exhales. Not rushing. And on an inhale, slowly come up, nice and easy. Drop that foot down to the floor and bringing it in, and then bringing the knee up towards the chest. Give it a squeeze as you send those shoulders down the back. And then let's drop that down. So I'm gonna come over to a corner of the chair. So find your corner of the chair. And I want to be able to let my right knee drop down a little bit more and then coming back up. So we've done this at the front, but when you come to the side of the chair, you get a little bit more range of motion. So just taking that right knee, dropping it in and out. Where are you feeling this in the body? So what's going on? Are you feeling it through the hip? Is that little rotation happening? And then let's pause. Left knee starts to drop in and we take it back out. Taking it in and out, saying, hey, how you doing today? All right, nice. And then taking that knee out. So we're sitting up nice and tall, right? Are you tucking through that pelvis? We're gonna look forward and we're gonna start to hinge forward like we did earlier. We're bringing our gaze down towards the floor. We've got that flat back, long neck. Pause for a second. Breathe. And then let's exhale and lower down a little bit more, bringing hands down to the floor, maybe to the shin. We're coming into that forward fold again, but with the wide legs. Take an inhale, round the back body, tuck through the pelvis, nice and big, and then letting it go. So we're going to keep the left hand on the floor, and we're going to take that right hand and bring it to the right hip. So we're opening up the chest towards the ceiling. And if you're feeling like I could do more, maybe you lift the right arm up. Sorry, my back is to the screen. And then you're bringing the gaze up. Bring that right hand back down to the floor. Let's drop the head down. Take a big inhale, round the back body. Beautiful breath into the back. And then letting it go. Flattening that spine out a little bit more. Right hand stays on the floor and left hand comes to the back left hip. We're starting to lift the chest up towards the ceiling. Maybe left arm lifts or maybe it stays right there on the back hip. Then let's release that hand back down to the floor. Drop that head down and round the back body for the last time. And then letting that go. Hands come up to the thighs. We're going to engage through the feet, engage through the core, and slowly come up. There's no rush. We don't have to go anywhere real fast. And then we're going to take the hands back behind us. We're going to come into that chest opener again, lifting the heart up. A big counter pose to that forward fold that we just did. And then sitting up nice and tall. Take the hands back behind you, interlace the fingers, shoulders roll down the back. And then let's start to lean forward a little bit as you lift the arms up. So you're feeling this through those arms. And then let's come back up, releasing those hands. Nice. Take the hands in front of you. You're going to interlace the fingers out in front. So lengthening out, and then start to tuck the chin in towards the chest as you press the palms out in front of you, reaching out as far as you can. And then on the inhale, let's lift the arms up overhead. Press the palms up towards the ceiling. And then let's release, letting that all go. Wrists start to roll in one direction and then the other. Just taking it one at a time or both at the same time. And then give me an open and close. All right, let's come back to the front of the chair. And it is time for some big movements. We're gonna warm up the body with this chair lift off. And we are at 10. Should we go higher? I think we'll stay at 10 for a little bit. We'll enjoy 10 for a second. So find your arms out front, crisscross, down here. What works for you? Today I'm going to go back to my arms out front. So let's get started and come up for 1, and then down. 2, and down. 3, and down. 4, down. 5, I see I'm cutting myself off. Down. 6. We're over halfway there. 7. Here we go. We got 8. 9. Here it comes. We got it. We got it. 10. Yay. All right. Come to the back of your chairs. And let's come into mountain pose. Find your mountain pose. Find your center and your balance. So you're standing up nice and tall. You're rooting down through those feet of yours so that you can lift through the crown of the head. Close the eyes for a moment. Maybe your hands are on the chair, maybe by your side. Coming back and checking in with yourself, how you're feeling, how it feels to be standing in this strong, stable position. Let's open the eyes and bringing those hands to the chair. Let's go ahead and walk our feet back and come into that down dog, that big, beautiful pose that's so good for our back body, and start to bend your knees one at a time. And as you're bending your knees, maybe you're letting your gaze go over the opposite armpit so that you're moving the head again. If that feels good, keep at it. Or if that's not your cup of tea, keep your gaze down at the mat. And just taking your time, bending one knee and then the other. And then let's come into a still down dog. So gaze comes down to the mat. Bend those knees if you need to get that flat back. Breathe. You're pressing the sit bones back behind. Your ears are between your arms. You're with the breath. And then let's start to lengthen through the legs if the knees are bent, and turn the toes over towards the left, heels to the right. Bend that right knee and lift yourself. Get into that left leg, outside of that left leg. Breathe. And then let's start to press into that right foot, straighten up. Toes go to the opposite side, heels are over to the left, and then bend into that left knee. Gaze is once more down at the floor. And you're just being here. You're not thinking about any to-dos, anything happening around, but just how you're feeling in your breath. Okay, let's start to straighten through that left knee. Toes are facing forward. Come into that down dog once more. And then let's bend the knees and drop the hips down. Press into the feet and lengthen back up. 2 more times. Bend the knees, drop the hips down, and then press into the feet. On this last one, we're going to drop our hips down. We're going to pause here, tuck through the pelvis. That low back is getting a stretch. Breathe. And then pressing into the feet, lengthen up. And then we're going to come into that rolling up dog and down dog. So with your inhale, let's roll forward into up dog, onto the ball of the feet, and then taking it back into your down dog. And remember, you can skip up dog if it's not right for you, and just stay in down dog and play with bending the knees one at a time or both. But we're going to do this. Here's the last up dog, and then taking it into down dog. And then from here, take the gaze up towards the front of the chair. Walk the feet up to the front of the chair and give yourself a little movement from side to side, a little stretch. And we're going to come into our standing sunbird. Hands can be on the back of the chair, or they should be on the back of the chair. Find yourself in mountain once more. We're going to start to lean forward as we take that right leg back behind. So pause here. Your right heel is reaching out, foot is flexed, and the toes aren't turned out. The toes are turned down so that hip is level. It's in line with the left hip. And then let's take the left arm out, reach out through the left fingertips. Breathe. So you're lengthening. And then let's bring everything back down as we stand up nice and tall. So other side. Start to take the left leg out to the height that's right for you. Don't let those shoulders come up to your ears. So again, check with what's happening with those toes. Are they turned out? Then bringing them back in so that the hip isn't rolling out. Press out through that left heel and bring the right arm up. Thumb is pointing up and you're reaching in the opposite direction of that left heel. So you're lengthening through the fingertips and the heel and then come all the way back up. Ha, ha, ha. Let's add a little bit faster movement. Right leg comes out, left arm lengthen, and then let's stand up nice and tall. Left leg and right arm, reach out and come out. 2 more times on each side. Right leg and left arm, and then standing up. Left leg and right arm, and then coming up. 1 more time on the right side with the left arm out, and then taking the left leg out and the right arm, and then coming up. Oh, go ahead and move. Maybe you do a standing cat-cow, or maybe you're just rolling through the hips. All right, so we're going to keep the right hand on the chair. We're going to have the toes facing towards the back of the chair, and you're going to turn out to the side, and we're going to come out with our left foot. That left foot is going to turn in a little bit, so we have a warrior 2 stance. Our legs are nice and long right now. And we're going to start to flow with this. I'm going to tell you a couple things. When we bend into the right knee, make sure that the right knee stays over the ankle, right? And you're trying to keep your hips level. You're not churning in. So the right knee is pressing back, and the left hip comes back. And then let's go ahead and straighten those legs if you bent with me. Your arms, you can keep a hand on the chair to be steady and a hand down. Or if you're wanting to have a little bit more, you're going to take the arms out. So I'm going to do it one time with the arms out so you can see me, and then I'll drop down. What we're going to start to do is bend into the knee and raise the arms up overhead. And then bring the arms down. On an inhale, straighten the leg and arms come up. Exhale, bending into the knee, arms down. Inhale, arms up. And then taking the arms down on the exhale. Taking it back up. Bending into the knee. A little dynamic movement. And then taking it up. On this next one, we're going to come down. We'll keep the arms down. The knee stays bent. You take the gaze over the middle right fingers. And remember, if you need to drop your arm down, or one or the other, please do. So we're in warrior two. That right knee is pressing back towards the right pinky. Breathe. Nice and strong here. You're fierce. Heart is lifted and pelvis is tucked. And then we're going to start to press into that right foot and lengthen that right leg and bring the right arm up as we drop the left hand down. So you're in sky archer. Now you're reaching the right fingertips up. Breathe. And then let's bring that right hand down to the chair. Turn the right toes forward. And let's take the hands to the hips and go ahead and give me a nice circle. Oh, yes. Nice and big. Stir the pot. And then let's pause. Take it in the other direction. Good. All right. Bring the hand back to the chair. We're going to take the heels and toes in towards each other. Work the bottom of those feet. Turn back to the chair. Standing up in mountain. And now you are going to come into the other side. So I'm just going to turn my chair around so you can see me. So we're going to take the left toes, turn them towards the chair. Right foot comes out. So warrior two stance. That right toes are turned in at a like 15-degree angle. Hips are level. You're nice and tall. Let's take the arms out if that's right for you, or keep the arms down. Remember, you're doing what's right for you. Bring those arms up overhead. And then let's bend into the knee and drop the arms down. And then coming back up. So we're just flowing here. Warming up that leg. Letting it get some blood flowing before we hold. All right, on this next one, we're going to pause here. And we're going to take the gaze over the middle left finger. Shoulders are rolling down the back. Come back to that breath. Left knee is pressing towards that left pinky. Breathe. And then let's start to lengthen through that left leg. Drop that right hand down. Left arm reaches up. Sky archer on this side. Should feel delicious. And then let's drop that left hand down to the chair. Turn the left toes forward. We're going to take those arms back behind us. We're going to interlace those fingers again. Take those shoulders, roll them down the back. With the exhale, start to hinge from the hips. You're coming down. And you come down only as far as what feels right for you. So you might be up a little bit. Or if you have it, you can drop your head down a little bit more. You can. Just make sure your knees stay a little loose. Breathe. And then with the inhale, press into the feet and let's lift back up. Slow, not rushing, nice and easy. Release those hands and then let's step back to the back of the chair. Go ahead and take a shift back and forth. Now we're going to do a little bit with our balance. So you might want to keep hands on the back of the chair, or you might want to find what works for you. Maybe just one hand on the back of the chair. Root down through the feet and lift the crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Finding your mountain, tucking the chin in a little bit. We're going to start to take the chin over the right shoulder. And then we're going to take it over the left shoulder. So what we did earlier. So you're starting to go back and forth. Nice and easy. Maybe the hand can come away from the chair, or maybe it needs to stay. And then let's come back to center. We're going to look out over the chair. I'm bringing my hands back to the chair. We're going to roll up onto the ball of the foot and then onto the heel. This next time, as you come up onto the ball of the foot, take the right arm and sweep it up. And as you come down, you're coming down as slow as you can. Maybe you only have one finger on the chair, but taking it slow makes it a lot more difficult. Bring that right hand back to the chair. We're going to start to come up onto the ball of our feet and lift the left arm up overhead. And now as we start to come down, we're coming down as slow as we can. Maybe right hand can move away from the chair. Slow, it's really challenging. And then all the way down. Nice. All right, that was easy peasy, right? Come back to your chair. So bring your chair around. Find yourself sitting down and taking a moment to close the eyes, to pause, to come back to that mindful breath, drawing it in slow and deep, and then checking in, coming back to those questions. What do you choose to be today? What can you let go of that doesn't serve you any longer? What matters most to you? And on the next breath, let's open the eyes and come forward in those chairs. Nice. We're going to take those arms out nice and wide. Take those arms all the way back and then turn the palms up. Thumbs are pointing back. You're reaching back even farther than you did before. And then bring the elbows in. Thumbs reach back. Nice big chest stretch. And then let's start to soften, letting that go. You're going to start to bring the left arm across the body. You're going to lift the right arm and capture that left arm. Drop that left shoulder down. Let's take the thumb and have it pointing up towards the ceiling. And then take the gaze over that left shoulder. So as you're doing this, where are you feeling it? Hopefully you're feeling it in the left shoulder. Breathe. And then let's take that out nice and big. Then bring the right arm across the body. You're going to capture that with the left arm. Drop that right shoulder down. Take the gaze over the right shoulder. And then let's start to take the arms out, not all the way. Turn the palms up. And then start to lift the arms up overhead, palms turn out. You're starting to bring fingertips together, and then you're dropping the elbows down to your side. So bringing them up, notice the shoulder blades moving up and down on the back body. So fingertips overhead, reaching up, and then down. I'm going to do that one more time. And then down. So now bring the arms back up. Fingers are pointing up at the earth. We're going to do that movement, but we're going to change it up a little bit. So you're going to reach up through the arms, and then it's almost like you're grabbing onto a bar and you're pulling it down behind the back, and then you're pressing it back up. Let's do that 2 more times. You're bringing it back down, and then you're taking it back up. One last time, bringing it down, and then up, and then bringing the arms down. Let's take the hands to the knees. Give me a big, delicious cat, nice and rounded, and then sitting up nice and tall. We're going to come back to our hands. So left hand is up. We're going to get into those fingers. With all this rain, it feels good to do this. So I'm gently taking my thumb and my index finger to my left finger, and I'm pulling out. So stretching it out, lengthening it out. And I'm on the fingertip, the thumb tip. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to twist it, and then I'm going to shake. So let's come to the index finger. You're just pulling through that finger, like you're lengthening out. You're holding on to the fingertip. You give it a twist to the finger and then a shake. Let's do the middle finger, pulling it out, giving it a twist and a shake. Ring finger, out, twist, shake. Middle pinky, pulling it out, twist, shake. And then let's come over to the other hand, and we'll start off with the right thumb. Be gentle with that right thumb as you do that, as you pull it out, and give it a twist and a shake. Index finger, pulling it out, giving it a twist and a shake. Middle finger, and ring finger. And here's your pinky, pinky's turn. Give it a twist and a shake. And then give me an open and close. Roll through those wrists. We're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to drop those shoulders down by our sides. Arms come up overhead. Palms turn out, and we lengthen up nice and big. Reach through the fingertips. Exhale, turn over to the right, taking the gaze over that right shoulder. You're coming into this big final twist. So press down through that right hip so you can lengthen up. And then notice the breath. Start to let it flow if you were holding it. So you're letting that breath soften and release through the internal organs. Nice detoxing twist here. And this twist is so good for the spine. Coming back and realigning it. Let's release that twist, coming back through center. We're taking the arms and lengthening up once more. Final lengthening up. And then twisting over to the other side. Taking the gaze softly over that left shoulder. Heart is lifted. And letting that breath extend you up. And then letting go. Let's release, coming back through center. And let's start to find our way back into a comfortable seat. So maybe resting against the chair. Maybe you have a blanket on your back or underneath of you. You're going to start to soften the eyes or close the eyes. Let the palms be turned up this morning and fingertips just gently curled up. Maybe chin is tucked in a little bit. And then invite yourself just to release and soften, to let go, so that you can melt into the chair. Nothing is holding tight. Letting the chair support you. Shoulders drop down. And then once more, letting that breath just flow through you and over you, washing away any tension or tightness that might remain. That leaves you in ease and peace. With your next breath, start to awaken the body, taking a big intentional breath so that you expand the ribs out and then drop them back down. And begin to find those movements that are right for you. Maybe the hands and feet start to reach out and lengthen out through legs and arms. Maybe wrists and ankles start to roll. Finding a big, delicious stretch, maybe of arms and legs both out. And letting it go. Let's come back to a comfortable seat and bring palms together right at our third eye. Letting the thumbs rest against the center of the forehead. And ask for strength. Strength to think kind and generous thoughts, thoughts that are uplifting to others, and bringing hands to our mouth. Ask for strength. Strength to speak kind and generous words, words that are uplifting to others. And moving hands to heart. Ask for strength. Strength to act in kind and generous ways, ways that lift others up and make a difference in the world. Namaste. Da, 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 da. I'm trying to stop the recording.